here we go again. Another edition of Man with the Show. I am Zane, your host. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for being there. Thank you for subscribing. I mean, we got some crazy stories here. First of all, I just wanted to say, there's some stories you might find that when you click on our episodes are a little bit older and stuff like that. We're trying to catch up because I know you, the viewer, want to hear some of the stuff on there. Like we have a Mindhunters episode coming up soon. We have an update on the George Romero. If you haven't caught that yet, the George Romero movie. There's a couple of Dark Shadows. There's a Dark Shadow one, and a couple other things that are coming up the pike that we're going to get close. The Disney thefts. We're going to get somewhat of a resolution on that case on there. Nothing has changed on that. But this is one. When we got back, this was one of the stories we wanted to work on early, and we kept putting it aside. And I kept saying to myself, I'm ready to do this, but there's something more to this. And basically, I want to wait for a little bit more resolution, and it has come through. One thing about SYFY Channel, it's lost its way. I mean, it's had some great shows. I mean, this is the channel that kicked off The Expanse at Amazon. One of the best TV shows as far as science fiction of all time. I mean, they must be kicking themselves in the butt after getting rid of a great show like this. And they've canceled a lot of other shows. It's gone, they've moved on. I believe Hunters got canceled as well, and a couple of others. And, here's one which I'm like in a question mark. Because one, I have not read the comic. I have not seen an episode of this. I've talked to other people who have, and they said it's just really, really a big dumpster fire on this. I mean, everyone's still wondering in this business how these guys got a 10-episode run from SYFY Channel on there. Whose butt did they kiss to get this? And the show I'm talking about is Vagrant Queen. And what has happened is Vagrant Queen has been canceled by SYFY. No surprise. I mean, you're taking a comic that basically just didn't do well. It was a graphic novel written by Magdalene Vizago and artist Jason Smith. The series producer Jem Garrett was in charge of the production on the show. They were on Twitter. They say, they basically at the end they're not going to be renewing. I mean, the first sign. One thing about SYFY Channel is the first sign that your show is pretty much going to the way of the dinosaurs is when they move your show to the late night spot around 11 to midnight, in that range. And that's what happened a while ago. And that's when we started monitoring what was going on with this particular show. And we weren't certain if they were getting canceled. If I did a show back then, I would say, I'm looking at cancellation for this show. If you're not familiar with what it is, it's basically about a child queen of an interstellar empire. And the empire was deposed, and she turned on the run to be a scavenger. And then she finds out her mother is alive, and she goes to go find her. I mean, that's the whole thing. But, coming from what I've heard some people, and they said, this is really, it's just the storyline is just really horribly executed. I mean, if you hear something like this and you expect it, this may be interesting. It could be a good series. But, in this day and age with comic books going the way they're going as far as storylines and stuff like that, I mean, you kind of expect better from this, and it just doesn't go anywhere from what I understand. And now, you shouldn't be scratching your heads. No surprise at all. It's canceled. The comic didn't do well, and SYFY Channel gave them a chance, and the series didn't. I mean, how much money did they waste on this series? I mean, it must have been a lot of money. And, SYFY must have really lost out to start pulling the plug. I think it was about episode 5, if I'm not mistaken, they started pulling the plug on this when they started moving them. I may be wrong on there, maybe later. And the thing about it is, this is also, SYFY is to blame on this mostly. I can't blame the writer or anything like that. How bad they are. They already accept. They have a blame for creating a very bad graphic novel. But SYFY. If you look at the SYFY listings lately on there've been action shows that have nothing to do with science fiction. I remember SYFY the SYFY channel that used to have old episodes of $6 Million Man. I mean, they still have Twilight Zone every once in a while. Space 1999, Doctor Who. They had anime on the weekends. They don't do this anymore. I mean, I understand they create their own movies. They create their own. Some of them is good. Sharknado, that one turned out to be good, except for the last two. They did a couple other movies that were okay, stuff like that. But they got a little overage on that. But then they started using regular TV shows and movies on their network. I mean, it's like as another network which was touting themselves as being a rainbow network, as an LGBTQ something network, and basically now it's just reruns of Three's Company, Laverne and Shirley, Married with Children, and Mama's Family. I mean, 24 hours a day. Once they have a lot of commercials for the drag series that's always been on, but that's moved to VH1. And there are other networks that are just like this. MTV is another one that just basically you don't know, what are they showing on MTV? What is going on? They're not showing music anymore. But then again, the music video business has dropped off toward online. You can watch anything online. Vimeo and all that. You can watch any video you want. They do have plenty of selections on there, playlists and stuff like that. And you wonder, why hasn't MTV changed their logo? Why hasn't VH1 changed their logo? Changed to a new name or something like that. Stop saying you're music television. Be music television. If you're a SYFY channel, play more science fiction. If you don't have new shows, start showing some other ones. There's years of science fiction movies there, science fiction and horror movies throughout there, and tons of TV shows. I mean, you're letting Comet TV and a couple other networks and Svengoolie and Shudder, kill you in the ratings. You have all these things, and you got Tubi TV, which is free with commercial. They have commercial directly, but it's still free, and a ton of science fiction and horror. And, you don't understand why this is happening. And, of course, most of these networks are all together. All together now. Most of them are run by the same companies. And what are they doing? I mean, you've gotten this woke mentality, changing, erasing episodes, putting freaking warnings on episodes at the beginning, giving 5-minute lectures on slavery at the end. If you haven't seen that Gone with the Wind 5-minute introduction on the HBO Max site, it's amazing what's going on, and we're going to be discussing something from the HBO Max in another episode. So comment below, tell me, were you a fan of the Vagrant Queen, or did you just hate it? Did you pick up the comic and said, oh my god, and just throw it away? Or were you a big fan of it? Did you like the TV series or hated the TV series? Did you get through 1 or 2 episodes, or did you get through all the episodes? So don't forget, stay at the end. We got a little bit more messaging on there. You can find us on various different social sites. We just joined Parler or Parlay, however you want to do it. We're there as well. In fact, I've gotten a lot of views from the Parler, and I thank those people over there, that they like to watch my episodes. And thanks to those in Facebook and Twitter, Gab and Minds. We're all over the place. We're an equal opportunity program. We want to hear it from all ends on there. Just be civil about it in the discussion in the comments below. So until the next episode, thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you on the rebound. Hey, thanks for watching there. Once again, don't forget to hit that subscription, like. If you want to comment below, you can. Be sure to check us out on all of our other platforms on there, all listed down below. And we also have a merch store and a place where you can give us support to this channel.